Good morning and welcome to Backyard and Beyond. This morning we have Judy Nelson with us from the Exira Lutheran Church. Good morning to you, Judy.
How are you? Good morning, Lavon.
Good. It's the time of year when there are a lot of special events coming up, but you have, I think, a very unique and special one happening at the Exira Lutheran Church. So I guess we start out with those details, when, where, time, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we do a drive-through Passion diorama. It takes you through the kind of from Palm Sunday through the resurrection of Christ. It's all outdoors. In drive-through, you literally drive around the church to see the 12 scenes that we have set up. It's on April 22nd, Good Friday, and this has been our traditional day that we do this, and it's from 8 to 9 o'clock at night. And you can reach it by coming into Exira on their main street, which is actually Washington Street. And on the west side of Casey's is Factory Street, and you'd want to enter there, and they'll direct you on up and around.
Okay, I'm sure you have some signs or some people or something that kind of tells you where to go, what the path is. And once you get on the path, you're...
Yes, once you're on the path, and we have people that'll greet you, and they give you a little program that you can read with biblical verses that correspond with each scene.
Okay. And for many people driving through this story is very familiar, but there may be others of us who need a little reminding about all the things that happened during that time period that you're showing. So.
Yeah, and it does. And I think just to see it, especially for a lot of people who don't maybe attend a church a lot, or even those that do, especially young people that have heard the story and they've learned it, but to see it is totally different. It puts a whole new message and meaning to it.
Yeah, you got a comment from somebody that kind of said that.
Yeah, we had a thank you one time that said to read it and learn it is to know it, but to see it is remember it. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was put it very well, better than we could. So, and that's usually people's comment. You know the story, but when you see it, it just really brings it to life. Mm-hmm. And puts a whole new memory to it and learning experience.
Mm. Some of us are great visual learners, and those visions are recorded in our heads, so that this makes a much greater impact. Now, you said you have 12 scenes?
Yeah, we've expanded to 12 scenes. Originally, we started with 9, and over the years, we've kind of expanded into that. And like I said, it starts with Palm Sunday and takes you through several of the scenes up to the resurrected Christ.
Okay, just talking about it for the people who are not familiar with it, you could say, oh, are these just paintings?
No, we have people out there in costume. We've tried to make it look as realistic, and of course, everything that you see are only people's interpretations of it anyway, and so this is ours. But no, we have live people, and there is some words spoken to it. I don't know how to explain, but not a lot, because sometimes people's windows are closed. So you'll hear a few things as you drive through, but most of it is visual.
Okay. So you won't miss anything basically if you don't hear people speaking.
Correct.
And let's talk a little bit about, first of all the people who are in this. I mean, how many people does that take to be as part of the characters?
Well, we have probably between 80 and 100. But we also have a lot of people or background scene. I mean, we have people that help us set up the costumes and distribute them the night of the event. We have people in the kitchen. We do a light lunch for everybody afterwards. And on cold nights, we try to keep the coffee and the hot chocolate going to keep our characters warm. But, yeah, it takes at least 100 people overall to do the program.
Amazing. That has to be quite a challenge for your church and for the community to get that many people together on one night. Now, do you practice? Do you have people come and kind of stand there and know where they're going to be and so on beforehand?
No, we don't really practice, although some of them have had 15 years of practice. Some have been in the same scene. We try to mix them around a little bit. But by now, most of them kind of know what the roles are. We do have to remind them a little bit once in a while about making sure their backs aren't to the people, or that we open up the scene so they can see the center part of the main part of each scene. But for the most part, everybody's getting kind of familiar. Of course, the younger ones, as they have grown up with it, may have to learn more. But some of them have quite a bit of experience with this.
Okay. And I guess if somebody new comes into that, there'd just be somebody there with experience that could kind of help them along and tell them, now, this is what's going to happen. And this
That's
is how
right.
we do this. Now, I'm thinking lighting is an important part of this whole thing, the whole show, that lighting on the scenes.
Yeah, we have to bring in quite a few spotlights. That's pretty much just donated, or we ask people in the congregation to donate spotlights. That's probably one thing that we've had a little more difficulty the last year. We haven't had many resources or people that have them on hand. So, but we do our best to light each scene because it is getting dark about the time we start, and that is our intent. But yeah, we have lighting on each scene, and it varies. Some of them we use some natural light with some fire pits, etc. But yeah, we do set up spotlights for most every scene.
So that probably means it's best not to have the lights on your vehicle.
Correct. We do want the lights off. That's something that's changed over the years. The first few years we started this, everybody in 1996 just shut off their lights, and a few years later we started having people with auto lights that got in line and says, I don't know how to shut them off. And of course, more recently the cars have kind of gone to either a choice of auto or not. So if you're coming and your car does have auto, you might want to review the owner's manual to see how to shut those down. If you cannot shut them off, that's fine. You can still go through. But it is better if you have the lights of your vehicle turned off whenever you're greeted by one of our staff initially at the beginning of the route.
Okay, when you're talking about being greeted by the staff, is that just at the beginning, or do you have some people along the way also that are kind of greeting people and keeping them on the route and so on?
Just the very beginning.
Okay.
We hand them the program with the verses that correspond. So you may want to have a small flashlight also. Turn your dome light or maybe just a flashlight to read it as you go. And otherwise you go at your own pace. If you want to stop and look at some a little while, that's fine. We do kind of want to keep things moving a little bit, but we do encourage you to go at your pace and take time. We have a lot of people that go through twice. They go through and they come back around and go through again, and that's fine. You're welcome to do that. There is no fee to go through. We do have a free will donation at the end. So at the beginning and the end are the only time you'll see people out actually standing by the route.
It may actually, I'm thinking in terms of people stopping, it may be better to go back through again rather than stopping for very long. Or is there a way for cars to pass if somebody has stopped?
No, there's really no passing. It's a pretty
Okay.
narrow, it's just, through our parking lot and on the street. But yeah, I would encourage that go back around again, especially if you're early in the evening when there are quite a few cars. They thin out a little more as the evening goes on, but if there's a lot in line, I would encourage you. There's time to go back and go through again, and we always say as long as they're in line by 9 o'clock, we let them run through.
Okay. About how long does it usually take to drive through the whole diorama?
Oh, I would say 10 minutes.
Okay.
No more than that probably. People usually just keep it rolling slowly. It's all basically within a block area, you're going around, and it's not even a full square block around. So just all around the church property, and we use a few neighbors' lots too.
Okay, and the church is north of the main street of Exira, right?
Correct.
If I remember right.
Correct.
Okay. So come and plan to drive through maybe a second time. And then you mentioned at the end there's refreshments. I assume they have to get out of their vehicles to do that?
Well, that's pretty much for staff. We just have
Okay.
refreshments for staff and give them a chance to warm up and wind down afterwards, because some of them start putting on costumes fairly early in the evening. But yeah, we encourage people to come through. If you've never seen it before, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And if you have, it's always good to come back and see some changes.
Yeah. It's really remarkable what events are out there that are so wonderful that people really don't know about and take advantage of. Sometimes we think we have to go to Omaha or Des Moines or something like that, and we have right here in Exira something that's pretty wonderful.
Yeah, I don't know of anybody else around that has done this. We got the idea from a church in Florida, which, of course, they don't have to battle the weather that we do sometimes in April, March. But, yeah, I think we're one of the only ones around that we're aware of.
Mm-hmm. So occasionally you've had a little weather problems, but let's hope not this year.
Yeah.
And it is a little later in the year. Easter's a little later in the year, so maybe that helps.
We hope so. We hope it's warmer. Yeah, unless it's actually raining hard, we keep going. A light mist, we'll keep going. So we'll try to keep the radios informed if there's any cancellations or not. But as long as it's not raining at the time we start, we try the show goes on.
Okay. if it's raining hard and it's lightning, you probably better check on the radio because you might not be there.
Correct.
But otherwise, plan to go to Exira on, remind us, Judy?
April 22nd, Good Friday, from 8 to 9.
Okay, just be there and bring your own coffee cup in your vehicle if you need something to drink, and just make a family event. This is a great event for children to come to.
Yeah, a lot of people double up, so there's several in a car, too. That kind of keeps people going through a little bit quicker. We encourage you to maybe double up with somebody else if you're alone or just two of you. So.
Good plan. We want to thank you very much, Judy Nelson, for reminding us and bringing this new to some folks about your Passion and Resurrection diorama drive-through happening on Good Friday, 8 to 9 p.m. So go and enjoy. Thanks, Judy.
Thank you, Lavon.
Until next time, here's a thought. Things of the Spirit differ from things material in that the more you give, the more you have.